My 30F wife of 10 years and high school sweetheart has been cheating on me, 31M, for the past 6 months. See edit below. Late Wednesday night after everyone was asleep, I was looking for unpaid bills and decided to check my wife's purse. Her work phone was lit up, iPhone with pen. There was a Twitter notification on the screen that said "Hope we can make love tomorrow." It took about 2 minutes of looking at the notification before I checked the Twitter name and traced it back to her coworker, 35M, that I have never actually met, but have never felt good about. I tried to remember her PIN code for her work phone for a while before I gave up and stared at his Twitter profile, then his Facebook profile, before ultimately deciding to wake her up and ask about it. I thought surely there would be an explanation, a funny inside joke that would resolve the situation and I could go to bed. I was wrong. Backstory: my wife and I began dating when we were 13, just before starting the 8th grade. We were together on and off until our senior year of HS, and we got married when we were 20. We have never had romance or a serious relationship with anyone but each other. Soulmates, best friends, everything you could ever want. We have 2 children under the age of 5. We are successful, educated, and have always been the most stable couple either of us have ever seen or experienced in our lives. I woke her up and asked her for her PIN to her work phone. I said I needed to look at a notification she had received. She said okay, but instead of giving me the PIN, she got out of bed and came into the kitchen to do it herself. She was half asleep as she unlocked the phone and opened the application. There were not any other DMs on the screen, just "Hope we can make love tomorrow" from that username. She glanced at the computer in the kitchen and saw at username's profile full screen. I said, "What does that mean?" She, after some silence and with very little emotion or expression, said, "It means what you think it means." I was instantly a complete and total mess. I couldn't speak, my heart was beating so fast I couldn't breathe, you know, the usual. I managed to say, "Start explaining." As the details of her infidelity came out, I began to understand why my life has been such a clusterfuck for the past 6 months. Things just made sense and fell into place. I realized I wasn't crazy for the first time in months. She said it was a romantic relationship and that she did have at least some feelings for him. It had been going for about 6 months and she said it was a weekly thing. These answers came from my questions. She seemed to have a hard time saying anything unless I asked directly. Later evidence would come to my attention, and it was usually during lunch they would go to his house, and according to my wife, sometimes he's in his car. It happened sometimes every day. I am hurt beyond explanation and don't know what my next step is for sure. We always said this was the one thing we wouldn't do, and that we would never break up our family. We both came from divorced and broken homes. Our childhoods were very similar. We are also broke, house poor, and drowning in student loans. There is also the issue of our kids. I can't leave my kids. I love my wife and I have said I am willing to try to fix the issues that cause this. She and I both want our family to stay together, but I am not sure I can overcome the thought of her having daily relations with another person and lying about it for 6 months. More details: I knew something was going on this summer when the affair began. She completely changed her routine and attitude. She got up early, took over an hour to get ready. She normally doesn't spend much time on herself in the morning, just rushed through getting dressed and leaving the house a little late. She began working out, like a lot. Daily, then twice daily trips to the gym. She lost about 35 pounds and has never looked better. She bought new clothes, constantly obsessed about her hair, nails, and worked out some more. All the while spending much less time at home, much less time with me, and I usually was lucky if we met once a week for lunch. I asked her about it, questioned her about hiding something. We got into many fights during this time. She blamed me for drinking too much, I was. She blamed me for not being happy, I wasn't. Eventually we had a huge fight and I stopped drinking for almost a month. I have since been well within the limits of moderation and I myself have lost about 30 pounds. I did everything she asked. I changed and stopped questioning her secrecy. I pretended to be happy, you know, fake it till you make it, and blamed myself for everything. I trusted her and believed her when she said there wasn't anyone else. I felt crazy for feeling like there was a secret she was keeping, and worse, she let me feel crazy. In the end it makes me feel a little better that I was right. So now what? I don't know what to do. I am angry and I want someone to know that she did this. I want to punish her. I want to punish him. I want to tell his wife. I want to tell their colleagues. I want to tell her friends. I want someone to understand me and my part. I want someone to judge her and blame her. I don't want to hurt my kids, not even a little. I don't want to hurt her career. After all, we are broke. My hands seem tied. We are hopefully going to see a therapist next week to begin talking out this whole thing. Anyone have anything to contribute? TL, Doctor, my wife of 10 years and high school sweetheart had an affair for 6 months and regularly ducked her co-worker while they were at lunch at his house. What do I do? Edit. Wow, I can't say that I am surprised by what you guys have to say, but a lot of you share the same thought. I need to add a piece of information that is keeping me from making a quick decision about this. Right after we married, I had an addiction to prescription medication that came to a head. My family found out, and of course my wife. I was absolutely at my lowest point of my entire life and attempted to take my own life because of it. I took a fistful of pills and chased it with a bottle of rum. The shame and guilt seemed like they would never go away, and at the NA meetings they told me I would be an addict forever, and I believed them. I sat down and I was waiting for the meds to put me to sleep and my phone rang. It was my wife. I cried openly as I answered the phone and told her what I had done and to come get me. I loved her so much that I couldn't die and leave her. No one else could have made me feel that way in that moment. That moment and many other moments during the following year of my recovery, she saved me. During my issues many people told her to leave me, including my own parents. She stayed, thank God she stayed. I can't help but think of what she did for me when I consider what I should do. Hi guys, I promise to love you if you like, comment, and subscribe. It's cliche around here, but better your kids have divorced parents than ones who hate or can't trust one another. Everyone is different, but there would be no coming back from this if it were me. She lied to you and likely would have continued to do so had you not found evidence she couldn't refute. It also sounds like she had absolutely no intention of stopping regardless of the toll it was taking on your relationship. I actually asked what would have happened if I had not found out. She said she expected it to end eventually and she had no intention of doing it with someone else. She had no intention of ever telling me. Hug her and tell her you want to work on improving your relationship with her so you can move forward together, as a united front. Hopefully, she'll buy it, and this will slow her down from making any big moves herself. Then privately begin your consultations with a divorce lawyer. Get all of your ducks completely in a row, file for divorce, and take no prisoners. I, 25F, found out last night that my boyfriend, 27M, was cheating on me these last couple months while working on his MBA. I didn't sleep much last night, and I have been crying off and on all day long. I really need some advice and help moving forward with my situation. So, my boyfriend Eric and I have been together for over 2 years, 2 years and 4 months to be exact, and I can't believe what I was told last night. I am so upset. Currently, I went back to school 3 years ago, and I am slowly but surely working on my degree program. I am very happy with my relationship, and the stage of life that I am in right now. I have been taking good care of myself, and I have been working really hard to get a work study in my program, which I won't know about until the end of next week if I get it. I have been working hard all semester on the application/work process of it. I hope I get it. Well, Eric and I do not live together. The way our lives are right now, it wouldn't really work. I still live at home, and Eric has his own place. But, we have always made everything work well for us, and I care about him a lot. My boyfriend Eric graduated from his college program a few years ago when he was 23 years old, and he ended up working in his field the last few years. This past summer, Eric told me that he was going back to school to get his MBA for a job promotion at the company he works for. His boss/company offered to pay for the year of schooling for him if he wanted to move up within the company, lots of contract deals for this to happen. Obviously, Eric wanted to move forward with this because the position he would be working in would get him an automatic $15K a year on top of his salary with the extra schooling. So, his company and the university in our city, set up the courses and everything for him to take this year. Basically, all Eric had to do was to show up and pass his classes. They made it pretty damn easy on him, that's for sure. This weekend was a gala event at our university, hosted by Eric's program director. So, last night while Eric and I were enjoying the evening, I was his one guest. Eric was introducing me to a lot of his classmates and people who are in his program. In our city, we have two very large universities, which leaves young people applying for one or the other, local or not. So, as the evening goes on, a woman comes up to me named Megan. Megan and I talked for a little bit, and then she asked me something that I found was odd. She asked me how long that Eric and I had been dating. I told her that we have been together for over 2 years. Megan turned white right away. I asked her if everything was okay. Megan mentioned that her, and another girl in the program named Tara, had been sleeping with Eric on and off for the last 3 months. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Megan went on to tell me that they knew Eric was in a relationship, but they thought it was more of a FWBs/friend thing, rather than an actual relationship. I was stunned. After that, she said bye and walked off to mingle with other people. Eric was mingling with other people during this time when I was told this. I ended up walking out of the gala room almost in tears, when I had Eric chasing me out into the lobby area. Eric asked me what was wrong, and I told him that he should know. Eric said, "What are you talking about?" I told him everything Megan told me, including the stuff about Tara and the fact that he told them about us not being in a real relationship. Eric interrupted me and wanted to confess to me what actually happened. He mentioned to me that he was so overwhelmed with the attention with Tara and Megan, that things just kind of happened. Apparently, they had a study group over at Tara's place, and alcohol was involved later on in the evening. Things kind of happened, and they ended up having a three-way. I started crying right there in the lobby. People walking by were asking if everything was okay, but I just ran outside and called one of my friends to pick me up. I felt so disgusted. I still do. I blocked Eric's number, especially after he was trying to reason with me as I was waiting for my best friend to pick me up. As I was waiting outside, right before my friend arrived to pick me up after I told her what happened, I saw Eric walking outside towards me with Tara and Megan. I just wanted to get out of the situation. Right before my friend picked me up, Tara and Megan were trying to make their case on the whole situation. I felt so disgusted that Eric could do this to me. It wasn't until 5 or so minutes later, my friend picked me up and took me home. I spent most of the late evening/early morning crying with my friend, Brittany 25F, who was so sweet to me. She told me it was over and to completely remove him out of my life. I am so heartbroken, upset, feel used and gross, and I feel so humiliated. I can't believe all three of them were trying to reason with me on the cheating, the romance, and why things happened the way they did. I can't believe it. I really need some help and advice moving forward. I feel like a loser, and I'm not sure if I can ever trust another guy in a relationship again. Any help or advice please? TL, Doctor, I was at a gala event for my boyfriend's, now ex I guess, MBA program right before the end of the semester. I found out that he has been cheating on me with 2 of his classmates, from one of the girls, Megan. As I was trying to leave, Eric, Megan, and Tara, were trying to justify everything before my friend picked me up and took me home. I need advice from this point onwards. I feel terrible. He's garbage. I'm sorry this happened to you. If he'd told the truth to you right after it happened, maybe you could work past it. If he'd been honest with Megan and Tara, it might not even have happened. But he let you get completely blindsided, in public, in front of all his professors and colleagues, and then had the idea to get his extracurricular lady friends to try to justify their behavior en masse. Cowardly and despicable. As far as moving forward goes, you just got unlucky. You're not broken forever and you will be fine and happy again. The advice site Captain Awkward has many excellent pages of advice on getting over a broken heart. Highly recommend it. Good luck.